Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm just going to do a quick tear down on this Viper because I don't like how it's running. Not quite up to speed. Kind of in the low threes. This car should be in the closer to the fours. So I think the end bell. I think the brushes are getting pretty worn. This is a car that I run a lot on my track here, just when I'm messing around with the guys when they come over. You know, gonna take a look at it. Maybe it just needs to be cleaned. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Hey, Zims. I'm just working on yet another one of my Vipers. This car is just not running as well as I think it should be. So gonna give it a little tune up. I think the end bell is getting worn out on this car. Yeah, those brushes are getting a little bit low, though. They're not. I've seen worse. Maybe it just needs to be cleaned. I'm gonna get that spacer out of there. It came off. It's not horribly dirty. We'll clean it all up. We'll see how it runs. Yeah. Give this a little cleaning here with some alcohol. It's just a 6 ohm hot stock balanced armature from Rooster Racing. It's kind of my go-to armature in all of my uh, spec racer class and ceramic super stock class cars. So for spec racer and ceramic super stock, the lowest the armature can go is 5.8 ohms, and these come in at 5.8 ohms. So what is the hottest of the hot Super G Plus cars these days? It's been a few years now. I'm trying to realm the lingo. Our hot class back in the late 90s was Spud, Arm, and Palmer. So they have, well, if you race Hopra rules, they have CMPM cars, which are like level 10 motor and traction magnets. And you could use, I believe, whatever ohm armature you want. There's also an unlimited class, which is really crazy. Those guys run like, Neo traction and motor magnets, and they're so fast you can't even see them. It's like a blur. But I race mostly the club I race with. We don't race anything lower than a 6 ohm hot stock armature. So spec racer class, which is spec racer is like this. This is Pro 4 Palmer magnets. And then ceramic super stock I also race, and those magnets are ceramic grade magnets. And then there's different requirements for the gearing in the car depending on the class that you're racing. All right, so we got the chassis looking pretty clean. Let me let's clean up this armature a little bit. I probably should pull off the. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this off. Clean this shaft real good. I like to use this flanged rear bushing. Kind of holds better and sits better in the chassis. Kind of like I could put this in here while it's not on the car. Yeah, it sits in there nice with the flange. Tends to not move around as much as just the cheaper bushing that just floats in that little pocket there. But again, it also depends on the class that you're running. Both the ceramic super stock and the spec racer allow the flange. You're just not allowed to use ball bearing bushings. I gotta go under the light here for a second so I can see what I'm doing. I'm just clean polishing up the commutators. That looks pretty nice. Nice and shiny, clean. might actually respace this. I'm gonna see how this looks. Put this back in here. There was a pretty good, a little bit more play than I would like with this armature when I was looking at it before, so. Hey Dale. So when I space my armature, first thing I do is I like to see how the, I'm still questioning if this is not, it's still got some life on it. That bottom brush getting a little worn, but again, this is not a car that I race at the club. It's just a home. I like to try and see the space. You want to see just a little bit of copper between the arm of the brush arm and the end, that end plastic there. You want to kind of space the brush in the middle of the comb. Usually like a 10,000 spacer does it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So that darn spacer always stays in there. I'm gonna clean these brushes a little bit too with some alcohol. I just kind of run a Q-tip that's soaked in alcohol in here. Kind of cleans it up. And let's see how these brushes look. I like when I pull the one arm. See that could probably use a little more tension. How's this top one? Yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit more of a tweak in both of these. I like the brush to come down to almost the bottom of the opening. Sorry, I know it's hard to see. Yeah.
What kind of tires does my car have? Do you know where it's going?
I'm on doing a live show. It's on the piece of paper that we have the paper from the shop. The paper. They should have it on record. Sorry guys, my wife asked me a question. Hey Rich. So yeah, so what was I doing? I was tweaking the brushes in here. Yeah, that looks better. I like the bottom of the brush to kind of come below the center of the, this top one still could be tweaked a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. I did away with the little washer, like spacer that you put around, because it was advised to me from some of the other advanced builders that spacer really just makes the armature and the brushes hot. It's better to leave it open and get the air in there. I thought it was good to kind of cover up and keep it clean, but I was advised not to use that by some guys that build chassis all the time, so took their advice on that. So let's put this back together here. Oops, almost forgot to put my little spacer on here. Okay. Put these, I'm going to put this in without any magnets or the hangers because I want to just see how this other side of the armature is spaced, and it's just a lot easier to do that without the hangers and worrying about them. Actually, there's about a 10,000 space in there. I could maybe put a 5,000 spacer in there, take a little bit of that out, but I'm going to leave it like it is for now. Again, this is not a car that I will ever race competitively. This is just one of my cars I race here, mostly when the guys come over. Though most of my guys canceled on me today, at least 2 of the 3 canceled, or 3 of the 4 canceled today, so I'm not sure if the other guy's coming out or not. Might just be me today. I always try to push these hangers back as much as I can when I'm putting this back in here. So again, you want to kind of get that sitting there, and then you got to watch the tabs there on the hangers. You got to use like a little screwdriver to pry these things up so that you get that tab behind that hanger. Otherwise, if you push this down right now, it will shear off those tabs. That looks pretty good actually, so we can pop that in. I usually advance the timing a little bit, which is driver side down on the end bell there. So we were running at like 3.2 on the dyno, which for my hot stock motor cars is kind of low. All my cars are usually in the 4 range. So see, like so we'll see what it does once I put it back together. We'll go ahead and put the magnets back in. Put these in high downforce, so the side that's going to face the, well, these have the max traction. They only go in one way pretty much, because there's only enough room for the clip to hold on at that narrower end. So can't really put these in wrong. They're designed to go in high down force. Put our clip back on. Yeah, you can see how low I have this car. The rails are making marks on them. At least at one point it was low, pretty low. You know what? I'm going to take this off again real quick because it's a lot easier to oil this thing when this clip is off. And since we just cleaned this, it does need some oil. Yeah, this rear bushing point is a key one. Get like one drop there and like a half a drop in the front. But, okay. All right. This car I'm running standard Viper stuff, Viper gears. I did put an axle condom in there to help with spacing. It's running Viper albino tires. I think those are, I don't remember what size they were. Oh, that'll be fun to put together a dragster. Mike, right? It's Mike. Trying to remember. I have a bad memory for names. Yeah, so these are like 434s. I don't really like to go much lower than that on my Vipers. It really starts dragging. Though I found a combination that I like even better, which is these are 260 RPM hubs on this Viper running these purple RPM tires, which only come in one size. And these, with this 260, these are much lower. Yeah, this is a little bit lower. This is like a 432. Yeah, it's about a 432. So it takes it a tad lower than this setup. Yeah, this setup in a Viper almost rivals my Fusions. Not quite, but it gets it close. I was pretty impressed with this. See how this runs. I'm going to run this on race day when I practice, see how it runs on that track we're racing on next weekend. Yeah, that should be hey JC, hey, I shipped out that controller to you, so you should get it sometime next week, hopefully. All right, let's finish putting this car back together and see if we made any improvements on the dyno. I kind of did this last time and it didn't really help much, so that's why I was thinking it might be time for a new end bell with some beefier brushes, but we'll see. I can't clean it any better than I already did, so. You're welcome. Appreciate you guys supporting me. All right. I might as well give it a little dab of oil on the axle and gears too. All right, let's see if we can get this dyno in the picture here. What do we set at? 18, a little over 18. I usually run my dyno like 18.3, 18.5. Oh yeah, that's way better already. This was only in like 0.7 on the low speed. Oh, that's not good. What happened there? Looks good on the lower speed at almost a 1, but not at this high speed. Let's give it a minute, see if it comes to life, but it's disappointing. This is what it was doing before I even took it all apart and cleaned it. Like a 3.2. I'm gonna try something real quick. It feels real smooth, so it's not like anything's binding. I mean, it's not really like the car's slow when you're driving it, but you know, I know it's not performing like. I'm gonna try this rear end on this car and see. And these are running 723 gearing, in case anyone's curious. I mean, not much of a difference with that rear end either. Thanks, Luke. Oh yeah, this like steampunk. Although, you know, the only problem with this body, it has a weak point here and here. Like this has crashed a few times, and this is really kind of wobbly. So I'm a little disappointed in that. I mean, I don't think it really affects the car, but it's not rubbing or hitting anything. But I haven't really had that problem with my other bodies. You know, kind of a little bummed about that. Definitely, you could see where it cracked right there. And right there, I could feel it. But hey, Mayor. I'm just playing around with one of my Vipers, trying to get a little better score on the dyno. Took it all apart, cleaned it, but it didn't really help. So my next thought is to put a different end bell in it because the brushes are getting kind of worn. So this is my other Viper that I just built. This is what I expect to see. Upwards of closer to 4. It's a good running car. But I got to show you guys. Check out the armature. Then this is a 6 ohm hot stock armature that I bought from Viper a while ago. One of their hot stock balanced Trude arms. It was like a $15-16 armature. This thing is ridiculously. And I actually took this car apart and measured the armature because it's so fast on the dyno. I was worried it wasn't legal. But this thing comes in at like 4.5. I mean, it's a screamer. Sometimes it's closer to 4.7. Hey, this thing just really kicks butt. I put this in the new Fusion that I built. This car I'm definitely racing in the spec racer class. I'm looking forward to putting this car up against the competition because it's a really strong, good running chassis. Pretty happy with it. I got this little wizard body that I just got from Mr. J. Jat. he just posted a whole bunch of other bodies. He sells them 3 for 50 pinned and shipped, so not bad to get 3 custom painted Lexan bodies for 50 bucks. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this car does next weekend. That's my primary car. This is my backup Spec Racer. This is a pretty strong running car as well. This one's up in the 4s as well. This is running the Joker armature from Rooster Racing. Although this is also a Joker armature in the car that I'm trying to, although it's a lot more worn, you can see the green wore completely off. This is my oldest armature, hot stock armature. And then these are my I just built, this is a ceramic super stock, so these are ceramic magnets. This you could run 22 tooth gear. In the Spec Racer you have to run 23 tooth, and these have silly sponge tires, but this is a pretty fast running car as well. It's up in the 4s. This is one I built myself from a kit that I ordered from Wizard. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this car runs. And then I have this ceramic super stock car as well that I bought used. This has the hood system in it, but I bought this car from Rooster Racing. He was selling it used for somebody who was selling a bunch of cars, so he tuned it up and sold them. I got a good deal on it. It's a strong runner. It's also up in the almost mid 4s as well. Wow, this car runs pretty strong actually. That's pretty kick butt. I had just cleaned this car too. Maybe there is some advantage to the hood system, although I talked to a number of guys in length about the hood system compared to the N-Bell, and I don't know. Didn't really seem to think there was much of a performance advantage, but all right, Mayor, 9 more subs. Sorry, I'm going back and haven't been keeping up with the comments here. Oh, I'll check out your new video later, Rich. Yeah, so I don't know what to make of this car that's only running in the low 3s. I don't know. You guys think I should swap out the N-Bell, see if that makes any difference? Or do you want to see me run some cars? See, that's pretty good for the low speed, pulling a 1. But when I hit the high speed, it's not where I expect it to be. I expect that to be close to the 4. You know what? I got enough spare N-Bells. Let's swap out the N-Bell and see if it makes any difference. See what some new brushes do for us. It is, Rich. I know. That's why I'm working on this car because it's not meeting my what I expect from my hot stock armature Vipers. This is running more like a stock armature Viper. You know, like the base arm that comes on a V-spec. Actually, some of my V-specs probably running faster than this car is currently.
I'm gonna go up to the mall and get the shirt that I need to get.
Okay.
And I do have the tires, so 4 was 11.15, 2 is 6.16, so I'll just do the 2.
Okay. You need me for anything?
Um,
When are you gonna take it?
no, I'll probably take it in the afternoon.
Okay, well, let me know. I'll go with you so you can drop it off there.
Yeah, Rachel can come too.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I already did that, Mike. I checked the timing. It's I advanced it. There was nothing I could do on the timing to make it go any faster than it already is. You guys don't think I would check the timing? That's the first thing I look at. Not that I don't appreciate the suggestion. I mean, those brushes really are not, it's not horrible, but I don't know. I've definitely seen lower. Hey, Robert. Let me get a new end bell. We'll see what the brushes look like on a new end bell. So this is a new performance end bell. I don't know if I could show both of these at the same time. Get this to focus. Yeah, there's definitely some beefier brushes there. No, I know, right? They don't look that bad. Unless it's just this armature. Maybe this armature is just a little bit tired, I don't know. Compared to my other hot stock armatures. I guess that would be an interesting test, is take an armature from another car and put that end bell on it, see what it does. Hey, Rusky. No, but that's just it, Rich. It's not really that worn out. I mean, I think that still has almost half the brush life left on them. And it looks tweaked. It's tweaked pretty good as far as adjusting. So, you know what? Since I have this end bell, I'm just going to build it with a new end bell, and we'll see. We'll see what that does. If it doesn't improve anything, then we know it's not the end bell. I got the time. If you guys don't mind. So that's the new end bell. Gonna have to break this in though. Let me just take a look at how this is tweaked. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Got my spacer on there. All right, let's put this back together real quick and we'll throw it on the dyno and see what she says. Come on. These tabs definitely stick out more than the... I wonder if it could have been an electrical contact, not being the best. Probably wouldn't run though. Okay, we got that one in. Always one tab is a pain in the butt to get it behind the hanger. Still can't get that one to go behind. All right. That looks pretty good. Pop that in. Alright, she's in. Can advance the timing a little bit. Yeah, I did that when after I cleaned it with my rotary tool. Let's, I use this little tip of the pointed tweezer here and run it down the slots. All right. Yeah, I thought about the tension on the brushes. That's why I tweaked it some more. I put a little bit more of an angle in it, brought it down a little more, but it didn't seem to help. Yeah, I hope it's not the armature, but I mean, it's still a good running car. Don't get me wrong. Even in the low to mid threes, it's still pretty darn fast. So. Yeah, this is a medium, but it's still fairly stiff, but it's not too bad. All right, we are all back together here. might have found the problem. When I put this back together, it looks like the pinion. Well, it's not touching. It's very close, but I forgot to push that back on all the way. That's better. See you, JC. Let me know when you get that controller, what you think. These pickup shoes, these were silver plated. I mean, you know, they're worn, but they're not horrible. It's not like they got holes in them. So I'm gonna keep these on. I think these are 09 pickup shoe springs. These are from BSRT, actually. I like their springs. They're silver plated and gold springs because they're non-magnetic, so they don't stick to the magnets. All right, let's put a little dab of oil in the front bearing here since it's new. Well, that definitely helped. Up in the 3.7s, and this is a new, this has to break in still. I'm gonna let this break in for a little while, just to break those brushes in. I'm gonna take this rear axle out, put it on the break-in mode. Turn my supply down a little bit. Okay, we'll let that break in. You want me to do a blind build? That would be not good. My eyes have trouble as it is with all these small parts. You like my Eddie Van Halen body? That's a cool body. Just like being at the dentist, right? So for my Spec Racer car, I did build another rear end with some different tires. These tires I got from Rooster Racing. These are RPMs. I want to see how this car runs with this slightly different. These come in a tiny bit different on the gauge. So with the gray tire, it's like a 420, 422 even. Yeah, it's definitely like a 420. It's very tight and 418. But with the purple tire comes in closer to it's a little bit lower. Just a tiny bit, so it's a little bit looser in the 420. Still tight in the 418. but not as tight. So these tires are just slightly lower than the gray tires that I have. So I'm gonna run some laps with these different rear end setups and see. These are both running same hubs, 250. I think these were from Quicker Engineering. I got these from Rooster Racing as well, these hubs. This is I don't remember if that's a Jag or an RPM gear. I think it's a Jag pinion gear, 7-tooth, and it's a 23-tooth RPM gear. This used to be their purple gear, but the purple gear had issues. It was kind of soft. The teeth were chipping fairly easily, so he got rid of the purple and went with Roger, that is, and went with this lighter silver gear, or lighter gray gear, I should say. But good gear. Normally Jay Jap, I get a lot of I have like 3 different guys that I get my bodies from, and Jay has the best pricing. He usually gets $20 a piece, pinned and trimmed, shipped to your door for $20. But a lot of times he does a 3 for 50, and that's usually when I get him. Like I'm about to order 3 more bodies from him because he just posted a bunch of bodies he did on Facebook. So the 3 for 50 shipped, pinned and trimmed. I haven't, Mike. I saw that you can do that. It looks well. The problem with you can just pop out the and get this thing to focus. Yeah, you can pop out that ear or the arm, though it's you got yeah, it looks like it. I'd have to play around with that, seeing if I can build, how hard it is to get that arm off and put a new one on. Did you see the new end bells that they have, where they have a spring in here now? They put like a circular little area here, and come on, that camera. There's literally a spring. They use like I think it's a pickup shoe spring from Magna Traction, and they put it in there. So the spring is kind of pushing on the arm to give it even more tension. I guess that's the economical way, is to build put your own brushes back in rather than buying a whole new end bell and bushing if you don't need it. Just replace the brush arms. I'll have to try that. I'll make that a little experiment. Maybe do a video on that. If you have any tips on it, let me know. All right. So put this. All right. You guys tired of sounding like Dennis Drill? Let's see what this thing does. All right, let's see how this thing runs now. It's a little better. Still not what I would think it should be, but probably still needs to break in some more. We're hitting 3.6. Can't really advance the timing any more than that. Let's see if maybe I had it too advanced. Nope. It's definitely slower. Yeah, it's getting there. Slowly. Well, we went from the 3.2s to the 3.6s. Looks like with a little more breaking in, it might even get up closer to like in the 3.7, 3.8 range. Still climbing. Yeah, that's just rear. Let's see how it runs with this other rear end. I like these tires. Still around the same speed though. You know, that probably makes sense, Mike, to break it in the neutral setting. I will do that. So, while this is sitting here, let it break in some more. I'm gonna run some cars, so I want to check out some of my fusions. See which ones I'm gonna settle on. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be my car for Spec Racer, taking the place of my old. This is the one I've been racing. And it's still a good running car. These are almost identical, but different front end. But the rear axle setup is the same on these cars. I want to run these two cars, and I'm going to run super stock cars. And I'm going to play around with rear tires for the Spec Racer. Alright, move the camera. You guys want to hang out or not? Cool. It's a rainy, dreary rainy day here in the West Palm Beach area, so good day to kind of hang out and do some slot car stuff. Come on. Yeah, I guess that's good enough. Clean up some of my mess here. Hey, Matt. What I did. All right.
Oh. Yellow bunny.
I'm gonna run my Spec Racer Fusions first. This is my original Spec Racer. I'm gonna run on the blue lane. I'm gonna do about, I don't know, 2 minutes. See how many laps I can do, what kind of times I can do.
Go.
Got this thing turned up too high. I put a different body on here. I don't know if I like this body. did 31 laps in 2 minutes. Had a 2:77 for my best lap. I would have expected better. Let's see how my original car. Oh, actually, that was my old car. Okay. This is my new car, the one I just built. See how this car runs. Car handles better. Spoke too soon and jinxed myself. Dang it. That was horrible. Okay.
Yellow flag.
33 laps, a 2:6.7 for best time, 2:8.8 median time. So I think I had fewer D slots with this car as well. '26. Oof. No, not this time of year. We really don't get a lot of rain. We haven't had rain in a while, actually. Certainly not 26 or 33 here. I'm going to swap out the other rear end on this car with the purple tires, see how it handles. Yeah, I know. I could come up with some better kind of thing for this keyboard, but I'll have to work on that. Oh. Uh-oh. We stripped out something.
Yellow flag.
I think the car is too low. Stripped out the pinion gear. Yeah, it's hotter than the gray tires. But yeah, check this out. I don't know if you guys probably won't be able to see that, but yeah, that pinion gear is just spinning freely on the shaft. That's annoying. Yeah, I have to run 723 for spec racer class. It's a requirement for that class. So. Yeah, I'll fix that later. I gotta look through my gears. I'm gonna run my ceramic cars now. These are running 722 gears. This is the one I bought used with the hood system. This car runs super smooth. Pretty impressive, actually. Let's see what we can do. Super quiet, this car. That's like whispering. Whoa. Oh, I hate when I take that accelerate too quick on the main straightaway. All right.
Yellow flag.
Wow, 38 laps compared to the 31, 32 I was doing in 2 minutes with the super stock, spec racer, sorry. .64 best lap, 2.8 median lap. This is a good running car. I did build a new rear end with this car. This has 422, these red silly sponge tires. You know. pretty happy with how this car runs. I think this runs a little bit better than the one that I just built. I may try swapping this rear into this car. So this has an end bell and this is a hood system. We'll see how this car runs. This one has the tires that came with the kit. These are a little bit, these are like a 424 compared to the 420. A little bit higher profile. Might not handle quite as well as that one. My glasses. All right. Push it a little too hard there. 30 seconds to go. This car actually runs pretty good. Handles pretty good. Except for that turn there, I keep taking too hard. Every time I say that, I crash. Wow, I just did 41 laps with that car in 2 minutes. A 2:59 best lap. Wow, that actually ran. This actually ran better than I thought it would. It's gonna be a close call to see which one of these. This might run even better with the red lower tires, so I'm gonna have to play around with that too. Pretty happy with that. I think these are going to be both competitive. I'll see which one runs the best on that particular track that I'm racing on next weekend. So, got to take advantage of the practice time. And this is the, I'll do some laps with this Viper. This is the one I have the 260 with the lower profile RPM purple tires. 723, this is also a spec racer class car. We'll see how this compares to my Fusions. Wow, 42 laps. So on it, we normally run 4-minute heats. I could potentially be hitting 80 laps in 4 minutes in a single heat.
Yellow flag.
Well, the track I'm racing on is bigger than this one, so I'm not going to do it quite as many laps, but still, that's a pretty good number. Pretty happy with that. Yeah, I can't take my Vipers down that low though. When I get down into 4.2s, low 4.2s, the Vipers, they drag too hard. 4.24 has been the sweet spot for me with my Vipers. But the Fusions I can take lower for sure. And the Silly Sponge tires I could take even lower. Alright, let's see what we can do with this Viper. I'm trying to break my habit of racing too much on the white lane. It's amazing how just that one lane, tighter little turn there on the blue lane gets you. I need to spend more time on the red and yellow lanes. When I go to a race, I spend most of the time on the red and yellow lane just to work on those harder lanes when I'm practicing. This is the Viper.
Yellow flag.
That was a pretty good heat. 42 laps. That was better than my Fusion spec racers. 42 laps and a 2.61. Wow, I'm going to have to seriously consider this car when I race next weekend. That's better than I did with my Fusions. Although I felt like I was a little cold when I started with it. I'm going to rerun my original Fusion spec racer. But that Viper felt faster, though my Vipers always feel a little faster than the Fusion. I think they are faster than the Fusion, but the Fusion usually wins out in the handling department, so I'm willing to take a little bit slower speed and have better handling and less D-slots. But I really like how this Viper, with the purple tires, with the bigger hub, the 260 hub, I like this combo. This car runs good. Hey, Adam. All right, so I broke this car in for a good little while. Let's see how this thing runs. Advance the timing. Turn my supply back up to 18.5 volts. I don't know, it's running worse now. It's pulling over a 1 at the low setting, but at the high setting it's back down to 3.2. Just like the other end belt, 3.3, 3.4. We were up closer to 3.6. Now it's hitting almost 3.5 now. $3.48. Yeah, I don't think it was the end belt personally. I don't know, maybe it's just this armature. I don't know. I'll have to play around with a different armature. Not that 3.5 is horrible. I mean, this is still a plenty fast car.
Go.
Noisier, these white albino tires. This is the car I usually run when the guys are here. And it's perfectly adequate for that. But I want to try running my Fusion Spec Racer again, see if I can get up into the 40 laps in 2 minutes. That'll kill my time, having to go all the way over there. I have to be my own lane marshal. Dang it. Losing precious time. That's it. 3 crashes in the same spot on this turn over here. That killed that heat. That would be a failure on race day. That Viper handled better over there. Yeah, only 31 laps in 2 minutes and 3 costly D-slots and a 2.69, so This car is definitely behind on that Viper. Yeah, no, I agree, Mike. There's definitely something off with this car. I gotta figure it out. It doesn't. It feels smooth enough, but yeah, it's not as good as it can be. I'm gonna come back over here because I want to fix the
Yellow flag.
I want to fix the pinion gear on my other car. I'm gonna see what I have for. I just bought a bunch of pinion gears, so I should have something fine to use. This is odd. Why is this? Sounds like it's pouring out. I hear it hitting the garage door. All right, so I don't know. These orange gears always seem to be looser to me whenever I use them, whether they're Jags or RPMs. I don't like those orange gears. And if you have a pinion gear strip out on you in your race, that's it. You're done. There's no coming back from that. You could take the time to try and go replace a gear, but you'll lose a whole heat. Yeah, that's totally stripped out. This was another RPM gear. One of these was a heavier duty. Actually, they might both be. I'm just triple check and double check that this is actually 7 teeth. I don't really buy anything but 7. Yeah, it's 7. Doesn't fit in any of these. That's annoying. No, those are purple. They are light purple, close to pink. But they are called RPM purple tires if you get them from RPM. That's what they look like. Yeah, no, I don't ever have any problems with my garage flooding. Let me try and put this on the old-fashioned way, since my tool is not working. Yeah, that feels pretty tight. So this was I think this was a tad too low. The car felt a little bit slow with these purple tires compared to the gray ones. I'm gonna switch back to the other. they're so close. I mean, it's minor, but the car felt a little bit slower to me with that purple tire setup compared to these gray tires. Is that pushed in all the way? Shit. I might have to put a little Loctite on this. This is that really fast armature from Viper, the one that was up in the 4.6 range. Now I'm paranoid that I'm gonna strip. I'm racing. Feels pretty tight though, so hopefully this one will be okay. No, actually, my dock is not as big as I would like, actually. We are thinking of redoing the dock and making it even bigger. It's only 12 feet. It's 10 by 12. I wish I would have done 14 when we built that dock, but yeah, there's a horror story involved in that dock build that I'm not going to talk about. Trying to forget it. All right, let's run some laps with this car. See if I can do as well as I did with the Viper. That other Viper. All right, we're going back over. All right, hopefully you guys can see that. All right. Let's give this a go here. a clean heat going there. Laps. All right, it's better. 2:58, best lap time. Wow, we hit into the 2:5s. That was a good heat. One D slot. Arms hot, but not burning hot. Run.
Yellow flag.
The lake is not very big. It's a good size though. It's about 1.5 miles long and like 3 miles around. Man-made lake, obviously. And they only allow electric motors, so I run a pontoon boat that has an electric motor on it. It's like a 5 horsepower motor. So you're not going anywhere in a hurry on my lake. Yeah, the main lake is 1.5 miles long and 3 miles around, and then there's a lot of canals. There's a lot of offshoots and stuff you can go down. If I like to bass fish, so there's a lot of neat little spots to bass fish. Yeah, it's a nice lake, and the fact that it's right outside my backyard. Here, I'll actually I'll take you guys on a little tour. Go through the house here. I think my wife went out, so. But it's definitely raining out today, so. What's going on, little Mimi? There's my boat. That's I think it's a 18 or 19 foot Tuscany. My dock, and that's the lake. If you go all the way down there, you can park and go to like Starbucks and stuff, and if you go down the other end, there's community center with docking. So we have a lot of fun out here on the lake. My neighbors just got that boat. That's a nice boat. Yeah. Just got those paddle boards. I practically kill myself on that paddle board. Little tour of the Ferguson house. This is the kitchen. Dining room. Nice little house. Little lake house. Living room. There's two bedrooms down through that hallway and a bathroom there. Front door. Laundry room. Master bedroom. And then the garage, the slot car garage. Anyway. Little tour for you. Yeah, I walk right out my backyard and I'm there.
You know, thankfully, I don't have a lot of iguanas here. A little further south, they got a lot of big iguanas. Though we are starting to get them here. Every now and then, I'll see a big, huge one, like 3 feet long, sitting on my dock. But, and not a lot of gators. Surprisingly, way less gators over here than I had on the Tampa side when I was living over in the Tampa Clearwater. Man, there were gators everywhere over there. They also control if there's a gator that shows up in my lake, if somebody reports it, from what I hear, they come and take it and remove it. So it's not a very common thing to see a gator in my lake, believe it or not. Well, I gotta answer this call. I'm gonna sign off for now, guys. My wife's calling me. She probably has questions. She's getting new tires on her car. So I will talk with all you guys later. Thanks, guys.